Hello, everybody, and welcome to your monthly March messages. My name is Rochelle, and I am coming forward with these beautiful messages that are wanting to come in this month for you. So I've been sitting with the energy and really noticing what's been coming up. And even for my own self, there's been a lot of really deep healing that's been happening over even the last week. On March 1st, I'm a part of a mastermind this year, and it's a beautiful prayer field, and it's all things juicy and good. And Mary Magdalene came in with a massive initiation, and she just brought in such spirit and heart and beauty, and I just saw her dancing and healing within the dance and the sacred self. And then the next day, I was guided to a women's group. That wasn't a women's group, but the Divine Feminine group, and it was bringing in the Lady of Avalon, and she came in with just such fierce strength, and I had a massive emotional release that I was not expecting to come forward. And then since then, all these little things have been percolating to the surface that have been needing to clear, where I've been out of balance with my own Divine Feminine and really stepping into that lead in my life. So I'm really grateful and honored to bring forward this message today on the Women's International Day of Celebration. The Divine Feminine is such an amazing gift, and we all have it in us. So even if you're a male, you also have the Divine Feminine within, and the feminine is where we're really being called to lead with our hearts. So the masculine is that energy that gets stuff done, and it's the great protector and the great doer, and just that oomph of really bringing out into the world. But the Divine Feminine is the nurturer, it's the creator. It's that softness and the gentleness, but can also be quite fierce, especially when you lead with the heart. The masculine amping that up is a killer combo that you're just, oh, I'm here and I'm ready and I'm showing up. So they're really wanting to celebrate the Divine Feminine today, along with the Divine Masculine, but really leading from that place of the heart. And so the guides this month have asked that we bring forward the beautiful messages from the Mother Mary Oracle card. This is Alana Fairchild deck, and it's really, really beautiful. Sometimes when I use these decks, her scribe within it is just so powerful. I go to that, so hopefully they won't just be like, read from the book, and I'll actually be able to get some gifts. So one thing that I've been tuning into is also, I know coming up for me strongly, is where have I been an active watcher in my life instead of an interactive participant. And this has kind of caught me a little bit off guard, but not fully surprising when I've been able to go into it with my record keepers. And it's really been powerful to see where I've just been watching life pass me by and maintaining it rather than actively showing up and doing something different. So great action sometimes can feel draining if it's not in balance with the receptivity factor as well. So it's a lot of output rather than input. So to the key to this that the guides are saying is to find the balance. So it's not all doing all the time, it's not all receiving all the time. It's about really finding that flow in between the two worlds so you can be an active participant in doing and receiving. And that means nourishing yourself, taking care of yourself. It means giving to others, whatever that looks like to you. It doesn't have to be necessarily volunteering, but it can just be like spending time with a dear friend and giving them your full undivided intention and heart. And another thing that's been really coming forward is also of how, ooh, whether it's going with this, I've been fighting off a cold, so you might have the crooks coming out a little bit here. But another big piece that's really been coming forward is how actually connected are we, and how active are we and engaged with all that we're doing? Are we in distraction mode? And coming for my truthfulness, especially, I'm not blaming or using the victim card as the addict, but an addict is someone that wants to distract and doesn't want to feel the way. And with my history of addiction and really not wanting to be here and present, I can for say 100% that my go-to is to numb rather than engage with what's coming in. So this engagement doesn't have to be the bad feelings. It doesn't have to be really being with that, even though that's a big part of it, but it's also engaging within the beautiful aspects of life. So it's like, where are we numbing ourselves so we're not seeing the beauty? Where are we numbing ourselves so we're not actively engaging within our lives? So the twofold they're showing me combined with being that active participant is really showing up and engaging with wherever and whoever we are with. It's like full attention, phones down, not having the TV on and the phone on, which I know my husband, it's his pet peeve with me all the time. But it's really allowing ourselves to really be here in this moment and show up to it. And in that way, the universe is going to bring into us what we've been calling to really shift in ourselves. So the month that the beautiful card that's coming forward for this month is Our Lady of Rosechild. So as soon as I breathe into her energy, she feels very peaceful, but I'm also feeling a lot in the sacral chakra, that creative sexual center as well. And it feels that there's like on almost like a group whole, there's a lot of restrictedness into self-expression. And whether that is through the sexual manners or whether that is within our own creative aspects of ourselves, it feels almost like we've been holding ourselves back. So the Lady of our Rosechild, she's coming in to really stand in for the nourishing and the nurturing that we're being called into. So where can we actively nourish ourselves? What can we do to really allow ourselves to be held by the Divine Mother in this way? So whether that's taking a beautiful bath filled with Epsom salts and essential oils that just nourishes our entire body and we can sink into, or whether it's going out and like kicking a ball around a soccer field to get out anything that we've been holding on stagnant to. So she's showing me a lot of different ways that this may come forward and a lot of different expressions. So one of the things she's bringing in is self-care, and sometimes people think self-care is very meditative. It's more of the going in for a great massage, which is amazing and beautiful, but she's saying sometimes it's like disconnected self, that when you just want to vacate. So even with the salt bath, she's showing though they're wonderful and they're amazingly vibrationally aligning, sometimes the nourishment isn't within that for you. It's more of the active release. So it's like getting yourself really out to the gym. She's showing me a lot of physical activity right now, going for walks, like even out in nature. It doesn't even have to be a big like hefty walk. She's just showing me like allowing your body to move as self-care rather than that sit and receive in that way. So even though those are great self-care practices that are absolutely necessary in our lives to just fill us with the nourishment, the type she's talking about is that as being an active participant is really showing up to the physical aspect of our body this month. So she's showing that as women in general, there's a lot of body self-conscious issues, and she's saying that it's time to stop. Like, it's time to stop comparing ourselves. It's time to stop thinking we're not good enough, we're not strong enough, we're not beautiful enough, we don't fit into the boxes, we need this new diet, we need this new cleanse, we need this new exercise regime, we need to find all these new things to fit in. And she's saying, no, when I'm asking you to be an active participant and to move your body, I'm asking you to do it with joy. So deliberate joy and delight with what life is going to bring forward for you. So one of my own, what I would consider teachers that's been percolating right now, she's been talking about delight and what would it mean if the universe could delight you every day. And I have like latched onto this because it's such a beautiful thing for me when I breathe into being delighted. It's like, oh, it's like so good. Like it's not super elation and disconnected. It just feels so soul nourishing, and like you just want to be delighted in your day. Like, what could the universe bring to me to make me feel just so delighted and just so yummy? And so that delighted energy feels like it's a really big part of this, of really loving ourselves and really stopping. And she's showing like a lot of beautiful exercises that can come forward is just standing in front of a mirror, fully naked, and just looking at ourselves. And she's saying touching the stomach area, touching the thighs, touching the areas that you cringe at or you stare in the mirror when you have your clothes on thinking it's not good enough. She's really wanting you to go into your body and just choose to love it. And a lot of times she's saying we don't even necessarily look outside of ourselves for comparison so much. It feels like there has been a shift of consciousness where we are more looking in at the faults rather than the beauty within. And so she's showing just like the amount of negative projections onto us of still not being good enough, not beautiful enough, not sexy enough. She's saying this is all a feeling that you can have within you if you can tap into it. It's like the whole body issue will even fade away if you can tap into the delight and the nourishment of your heart and what you want to call in. You're going to be able to show up to the things that you love to do without being body self-conscious. And this month she's really wanting you to let yourself off the hook from the negative programmings that you bring in every day. Every time you touch your body, every time you eat, every time you're connected with other women or you feel this intimacy, a physical connection with someone, and you instantly retract because you're aware of your body. You're disengaging with the moment. You're disengaging with the beauty of what's happening all around you, and you're bringing yourself back into a place of that self-centeredness and the self-awareness, which then takes you out. And then she's showing me the spiral that's happening within the body-mind connection within that. So this month she's saying the piece of the physical actual exertion that she's calling in, it's going to start making you feel better, because she's showing a lot of sedative energy. And even I myself will say, like, I've been feeling a really big heavy energy, so it feels like I just want some couch time or some sleep time, and it's been feeling a little bit more like I've had a push to really get myself active, and when I do, it's like, whew, like the energy just lifts. So she's just asking you to not necessarily make this be anything more than a simple walk around the block, or just like connecting in with nature and going for a walk in the trees. Or, you know, if you're up for it, like going for a swim, the water feels very important as well to really bring out the aspects that are hiding within us and to allow the emotions to release. So whether you go for a walk along the beach and connecting with the ocean, you know, there's so many beautiful lakes or little man-made ponds she's showing me that we can walk around as well to connect in with nature. But she's showing water and walking are the two really big pieces for you. So whatever that looks like, however slow that needs to be, as long as it's the physical movement. And she's saying physical exertion, and I know exertion can be the exhaustive feeling, but the energy she's bringing with it is more of just doing. So it's showing up and it's connecting with your heart and then following through with the balance of that divine masculine to support you in moving forward. And she's wanting people to keep more of a journal this month, if you're willing, of all the nilly-willy negative belief systems that have percolated and come up for you. What have you been allowing in your mind for the last, you know, year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, however more they've been there? Just the stuff that constantly beats you down, that constantly just puts you back and makes you feel not good enough, or that no matter how much work you've done, there's still more to do. She's just wanting to almost call attention to these things so you can see how ridiculous and preposterous it is. And then she's also asking you to bring in the inner child. So if you were to see a beautiful, like 6-year-old, 7-year-old that was thinking these things about herself, that was, you know, already telling herself these, you would stop her dead in her tracks and be like, oh, hell no, like, you are beautiful, little one, like, don't you dare think that. But somehow we make it okay for ourselves to think these things about us. Somehow as an adult, we lose sense with that being okay, rather than allowing ourselves just to feel the delight of being in our bodies in this vessel that we came into. And it doesn't matter, like, our shape, our size, our form, it doesn't matter. There's beauty in all of us, and she's really wanting this whole body consciousness thing to just go. So masculine, feminine, she's saying it's all up right now, and she understands the reasoning for that. She understands that it feels like it's an insurmountable task sometimes, but she's also telling me that there is great recovery being seen right now within this. And even I can attest for myself, one of my addictions is food addiction, and I'm very open about it because it's affected me ever since I was a kid. Food has always been what I've gone to, and the spiral that comes with it. And I've been in recovery for over 3.5 years. June will be coming up on my 4 years in recovery for it. And it does get easier. Like, the food doesn't talk anymore, and if it does, I know something's going on inside. You know, I can enjoy my days without feeling fully aware of my body, and when it does come in, and then it's indicator of like, okay, well, what's going on here? Like, I am now re-aware of this, or re-aware of myself, or catching myself in things. So it becomes easier to actually go into the stuff that we are calling up for clearing, rather than it feeling overwhelming. And I remember at the beginning, it was very overwhelming because it felt like everything needed to shift. It felt like that was just the life that I lived. So how can you change everything in one fell swoop? And you can't. But what you can do is make a conscious choice each and every day to show up differently, and, you know, write down those negative voice patterns to see how ridiculous some of them are. You know, tell them every reason why you're beautiful and why they can't be. Ask the angels to take them from you. You know, ask the beautiful Divine Mother Mary, our Lady of the Rose Child. And she's just showing the Rose Child to be this beautiful representation of just growth in a new way. And she's showing the rose color of love and delight, and just holding that in your arms, and like how you would nurture that within your own child, like bringing that into your heart. So she's asking you to really nurture your inner child, that divine feminine, followed with the divine masculine, because the doing feels like an important part of really stepping up, and allowing you to stand for the fierceness of love within yourself. And she's asking for all of this to be done just at your own pace, at your own speed, not comparing to anyone else, not pushing to do anything for anyone else, really checking in with you. What do I need today? What can I do to be delighted today? And how would I like to feel at the end of the day? If I don't do these things, am I going to be going to bed being like, oh, I wish I would have done that. Like, why didn't I just not show up and do it? So she's just kind of saying, play it through. It's a great technique when you're kind of stuck in something, to be like, okay, if I don't do this now, at the end of the day, am I going to feel that I wish I had shown up to this? And chances are 9 times out of 10 it'll be a yes. It's just your resistance that's meeting you. And sometimes it's not in divine alignment, and that's okay too. Only you know for yourself what that is, what that looks like, and what's in your heart. So she's really wanting to come forward with these beautiful blessings for you. She really wants to honor you for who you are. She sees you, she sees all of you, and she sees the beauty of all of who you are. And there's nothing wrong. And she can't bring that home enough. There's nothing wrong. There might be things that you can up level and shift and change, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean where you are is incomplete. It just means you got to make a different choice. And every day we have the choices to make the life and choose the life around us. So she's sending so much beautiful blessings. She's asking if you'd like to connect in with her, just to visualize a beautiful rose pink light. And you can just, she's showing it as a child, so you can just see almost like holding that light as a child within yourself, and allowing it to represent the healing for your own inner child. So I'm wishing you a beautiful month of March. Allow the divine feminine to come forward even more fiercely, because I know she's been rising up within me, or I have been rising up within myself, I guess is a way to say it as well. So sending so much love to all of you. Yeah, and I'm going to be adding more messages to my monthly mailing list. So the video format will come out here, but for my beautiful tribe that's on my mailing list, I'm going to be including a divine message or meditation in there for them. So if it's something that you would love to join into, you can head on over to RochellePaye.com, and you can sign up on my mailing list at the bottom of the page. So have a beautiful, beautiful day. Have so much fun just celebrating that divine feminine and allowing whatever comes up to delight you to do. Lots of love and angel blessings. Bye.